Good evening, guys. Oh, my background's not the best there. We haven't got that working tonight. That's all right. We'll fix that up later. Good evening, guys. We've got just Mark going in alone tonight on coin toss. Unfortunately, Vince is moving furniture. I talked to him earlier tonight, and he was stuck underneath something and very, very busy. We will try and I've got to try and figure out my background because things don't look great there at all. What have we got here? Visual effects. Ah, there we are. We can do this one. Oh, look at that. That's magic. Looking sweet again. All right, guys. On tonight's show, we're gonna work our way through some stuff. I tried to figure out a little bit of stuff to make it relatively entertaining and not 100% about XRP for everybody. So we'll do some questions and things like that later for everybody to ask. I want to figure out some things about their own own coins. Yeah. Welcome to the XRP show from King Duck. Yes, that's correct. Almost, but not quite. Well, I'm definitely going to probably maybe convince you a little bit more that that XRP is a little bit better than some of these other things. But other than that, we're going to try and just cover the market, have a look at what's going on within the cryptocurrency sector just at the moment. At the moment, we've got the title on the show for the hunt for a green October. I'm going to try and show you some statistics about how the months over the last few years have gone. And instead of having a red month, we're hopefully going to have a nice green month this month. So we're on the hunt for a green October, and with any luck, we can go green October, November, December. That might be something that's exciting. Who have we got in the chat here? Thanks for joining me, guys. Thanks for turning up for Mark going it alone. It's going to be scary. We've got Donna, Margot, Peg's Place, King Duck. Thanks for being here, guys. Hopefully we'll get some more people as word spreads how amazing this show is tonight. All right, well, let's get into it. Got some already. Did I get an airdrop of ZBCN for my XRP? I have no idea. I'll have a look. I'll have to have a look at that. Was that just sort of for all wallets? Did you have to sign up for that one, or did they just send it out to all wallets? I remember hearing about that, but not like hearing about it a little bit, but I didn't really pay attention to it because I don't know what ZBCN is. Feel free to fill me in on that one, Donna, because that would make life a little bit easier. Could be a very nice Christmas if XRP does its thing, especially if Jake Claver's predictions are correct. Exactly right, King Duck. I was trying to find some Jake Claver stuff. We might get into some of that later in the show. Just some of his. I was trying to find some clips on X that are easy to use, and they're hard to find. The ones that they're really specific to American market a little bit more. So playing it over here it's kind of relevant, but it's also technically might not exactly be legal with some of the strategies he's using. But I would assume most of it he's borrowing against your XRP strategies. I think is definitely worth looking at, and I think that with any luck we might get to something like that later in the show. But at the moment, I will bear with me too, guys. I'm gonna do my best to not be super clunky and get my way through this without too much drama. And we're gonna have a look at the market today. We've got Bitcoin at $122,328. I wanted to go back to my crypto, the main market. All right. We're going to come back so we can have a look at fear and greed, which we're coming up into a neutral. the top end of the green almost, but a little bit neutral. So that markets are starting to heat up. I guess people are starting to become a little bit more greedy and are less scared. So 59's interesting. Not a lot to go on off that. Cryptocurrencies, what have we got? We've got Ethereum at 4,000, 4.5, XRP at $3. Nice recovery. Everything's been pumping the last couple of days, as you can see over here. The last 7 days, most things have been pretty green. Looks like Binance tokens had a pretty good run. As you can see, 11, 12, 7, 20% in the last few days. That's the crypto market is ridiculous with the returns that we can get. Some of the other announcements. Sorry, no, actually, this is what I wanted to go into. Let's go into that one. I will give me a second. Close that one. I'll get there eventually, guys. This one. So here you can see we have the monthly Bitcoin returns for the past 10 years, 12 years. And we're up in here. This is on coinglass.com. If anyone else wants to go and have a look at this one, it's a great little website. It's great statistics. This is the hunt for a green October. And so far, we're doing pretty well. Looks like we found one. As you can see, over the last 10 years, this just kind of logs what happens for Bitcoin for its monthly returns month to month. And it can kind of show you some trends over the 4-year cycles and things like that, and just sort of get you into a right position for buying and selling, mainly selling into the bull market. With any luck, we'll do a 2023 style, 2016, 2017 style run, where we go green, green, green 3 months in a row, 4 months in a row. So far, we're looking really good. We've got a green September, looking at a green October at 7%. If we get a green November and December, your accounts are going to be looking pretty nice by the time we get there. I think most people are going to start worrying about whether to sell, whether they've made 1,000%, 10,000%, I don't know. But there's going to be a lot of people going, and you're going to need your strategies ready to rock in the next couple of months. It's going to get wild. And if we see something like 2024 had 37% in November, 2023 had a 28% in October. If we see that kind of number come through Bitcoin now, and we see a 20 to 30% rise in Bitcoin just by itself, that's going to push the rest of the market quite high. That's going to just start trickling down. You should see a lot of people taking profits from Bitcoin and then just pumping the market. You'll also get FOMO from all the retail people just out there just going, oh my God, what am I missing out on again? And it's going to start absolutely pumping all the other coins. It'll be a rising tides floats all ships situation, I would assume. And could get really, really interesting. Any questions from you guys about this kind of stuff at the moment, or are you just happy to see what we've got? I can see some conversation going on about XRP. That's great. We'll get back to that later. But yeah, so we're on a hunt for a green October, guys, and I think you're gonna see we're not just, I don't think we're going to see 10%. I think we could see starting to see 10, 15, 20% get printed in these things. And then some big numbers later on. In 2020, you had 42%, 46%. In 2017, which was the big year, that was XRP's really big year, when it went from 1 cent to 40 cents in a week or two, and then it went from 40 cents to $3 something over that bull run. So yeah, like that was thousands of percent. So if we'll any XRP, XLM holders out there, get ready, because XRP is definitely heating up. I might have a look at some charts in a little bit for that one. I wonder if there's a faster way for me to do that. I think. All right, Vince. I need to learn way more of Vince about how to drive this thing. I think what we'll do now is get into some news on X, because that's a little bit more fun to scroll through. I think it was in the title. Got a terrible memory. Was about Swift news as well, which we'll get to. Swift have announced that, and I've been doing my best to find the exact post, and I finally found it. It took me forever before the show. I'm starting to understand about how much planning you really, really need when you're going to do an hour by yourself. But big news from Swift is that they're launching a major new initiative to transform payments for consumers and small businesses. Working with some of the world's biggest banks, the new scheme will ensure cross-border retail payments are as fast and predictable as domestic ones. If anybody has been doing their research out there and are really starting to understand this market and what this is all about, there's a couple of words in here that should have pricked your ears. Cross-border being one for me. As a cross-border payment, the specialist in cross-border payment is, drumroll, XRP. For Swift to announce that they are using a cross-border retail payment, and basically a new technology, a new initiative, that everyone that knows about XRP immediately was like, oh, so they're semi-announcing their, what do you call it, a soft disclosure that, well, we're looking at XRP. And as you can see here, James Rule XRP was like, I think I know what that means too, sir. So yeah, this went pretty viral through the people through the sector this week. Brad Garlinghouse of XRP, of Ripple, sorry, responded to it. I think I booked the post for that. Give me a second. Where are my bookmarks? Where have they gone? Am I not logged into my premium account? This is throwing my apologies, guys. Lucky we're live. I can't find my bookmarks, which should just be on the left-hand tab here, and I should be able to look through everything I want to look at. But I can't. I'll try and go through another tab. And give me 1 second, guys. A slight. I don't know what's happened here. There we go. I don't know. We just had to reload the page, I think. All right. Let's get back in. Oh no, I've gone to the wrong one. Apologies, guys. That's not the one I wanted to share. What's going on here? For some reason, my computer is not recognizing one of my web pages. Let's try that one. We got there, guys. Apologies. Thank you for bearing with me. Now I can get to. All right, so Swift making an announcement. They say we're going to start doing cross-border payments. We're doing da 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 with all this other stuff on blockchain. Brad Garlinghouse, CEO of of Ripple, sent out a notice to all his shareholders, and Jake Claver I saw announced at real time and said that he got a hold of it, and this is what Brad Garlinghouse said. He said Swift announced that it has built a prototype for blockchain-based shared blockchain-based shared ledger to be added to its infrastructure stack, initially focusing on real-time cross-border payments. I've received a number of questions this week about this and what it means for the industry and Ripple. Frankly, it made me realize I haven't shared enough recently about the thoughts I have around who we view as our core competitors, and perhaps I spend some time on the competitive landscape in an upcoming note. I digress. It's true, in the early days, we did view Swift as a major competitor, but the reality is, in the time it's taken for them to announce a prototype, we've been building robust digital asset infrastructure, expanding on our payments products to custody from our payment product custody, stablecoins, and development on the XRPL, and more with the recent acquisitions. Also, we've dug into the Swift news, and it really seems more like a marketing play in the lead up to their annual conference, CBOS, rather than an actual meaningful product announcement. So technically, kind of what Brad's saying there is it's probably not going to be XRP that Swift is going to use. I'm not sure if that's exactly what he's saying, but because he's kind of saying if they're not making a product announcement, then what are they doing? It's just sort of some kind of weird marketing play in a lead up to their annual conference. So all the people out there taking this as cross-border payments as XRPs join Swift, that might not be exactly what's happening. It might be more that Swift, the XRP and the XRPL just kind of eventually kind of take their market share off them because they just got better technology. And that's kind of their argument since the whole it's been from the start, is that you guys are running antiquated, ancient technology, and you're charging the world extremely a lot of money to do that, and we can do it for cents on the dollar, and we're going to create an equal playing field. We're going to allow countries to trade value with each other cross border for cents on the dollar. And what the CTO of Ripple has always said is that if a couple of crypto guys get rich, for the world's countries to have an even playing field and don't have to rely on one country to run the world or use their dollar as the be all and end all, then they're probably going to be pretty happy with that, and they're probably going to let these crypto guys get rich. And there's no reason why we can't kind of go along with them. So keep doing your research, keep building conviction for yourself. That's one of the biggest things in this market, is trying to build conviction in what you're doing and understanding what you're doing and being able to hold through the highs and the lows, and kind of be there at the end, because I don't think there's going to be a lot of us that get there, but the people that do get there are going to be really, really, really happy with themselves and proud of themselves that they stuck it out. So that's one, that was a pretty interesting thing, that a lot of people in Bitcoin maxis and stuff don't pay a lot of this attention to this. People that are really super interested in Bitcoin, was definitely more of an XRP kind of thing that came through where this Swift made the announcement. But it's a really, what it also kind of signifies from Swift making the announcement is that this technology is not going anywhere. People that want to argue that it's just a fly-by-night thing and it's not building a great base to launch from, they don't really know what they're talking about. You've now got the premier monetary messaging system, transfer system that's been in use forever, now has realized that we've got to start doing something, or we're just going to get left in the dust. And I think it's going to be too late. I think XRPL is already way too far ahead. And we'll see what happens in the future with that one. What else have I got down here for you guys? We've got, depends where you want to go. We've got some pretty crazy stuff. I was trying to find, I've been trying to find this stuff from Tiffany Hayden. She'd had a post. She's a lady in the crypto market that's been in it for a while, and she knows, I think she used to work for some pretty top line companies. And this post is from 2018. This is old news. Don't get me wrong. I'm not selling you anything new at the moment with this one. This is more, if you want to go down the 4 Satoshis route, let me know. But we might come back to this one. Why we're here. This one was, she's basically kind of saying that the people that created Bitcoin just might have created XRP too. So that's basically saying that both Bitcoin and XRP were written in C++. That seems noteworthy. April 23, 2011. I've moved on to other things. Satoshi, October 2011. Joel Katz, creator of XRP, is hired to work on XRP. He's also, so Joel Katz is David Schwartz. I've hopefully got some notes on this maybe later in the show. He's just announced that he's going to step down and from Ripple. I'm not sure if any of you XRP holders out there have saw that one. That's kind of big news. He's still said he's going to be hanging around. They've asked him to go on the board, so he'll be on the board looking at things, and he said he's going to swing in from time to time and figure out what's going on, see what's going on in the company. But he's also then said that he's off to work on something new as well. So it'll be interesting to see what he does. This one's from Raoul Paul. This is a shout out to Vince and his cycles that he likes to have a look at for what cycle we're in and when we might be taking profits this year, when we might not be taking profits this year. This is Raoul Paul or Powell. I think they've spelled that wrong. I swear it's Raoul Paul. He's a He's a top line business guy that's turned his sights to cryptocurrency for the last few years, specifically Bitcoin. But I think he's like a forex trader. I'm quite sure he's worth a lot of money. He's basically talking how the 4-year cycle. I mentioned this, I think, last show with Vince, and was stoked that I got to find the clip. Basically explaining how using this business cycle, and they've got some cool graphs in here that we can have a look at. Using this business cycle, that it's now most likely going to transfer into the cryptocurrency market and go from the old school 4-year cycle, possibly just into a 5-year cycle. I think cryptocurrencies are going to go, it might go 5. I don't even think, I'm not sure if we're going to go 5, 6 and things like 7 or anything like that. I think we might go a 5-year cycle or something, but then I think we might lose cycles for cryptocurrency a bit when utility steps in. Once we see utility kick in, we're going to see real world assets, the RWAs, as they say, start to come into tokenization. And that, I think, is going to change how everything works. But without further ado, I will play this clip of Raoul Paul, and it's 2 minutes. So strap in. Sorry, guys. That took me way too long to read that you can't hear it. Oh, I forgot. I think on Vince's end, you can't play sound for some reason. Why does that do that? My apologies, guys. I have no idea how that's gonna make life fun for later in the show. I don't even know how to do anything about to solve that for Vince. I don't know if he ever solved it on his end. I should have asked him about that. I always play the clips from my end, and for some reason it works. Me as a guest, which is a trip. I have no idea why. If King Dex said I read his lips, he said buy XRP. Exactly what he said. For 2 minutes and 19 seconds, he just sat there going, buy XRP, buy XRP. All right. Well, I'll use his graphs at least. What he's got here is the ISM, which is a business. I can't remember exactly what the term was. It's basically their business cycle, and he's got it down over here that mirroring it to the bond yields, and then goes into where was it? This nice bell curve. Oh, I've lost him now. I'll go back. Where is it? When we got this one, that's the sine curve for the sine wave for how they kind of expect the market to somewhat follow that. And if you look down in here, the business cycle for this is still pushing along, and it hasn't started to peak right up yet, and we're into 2025, and we started back here. So instead of saying that we've got a 4-year marker where we'd have usually gone up and then started to come up and peak again up in here for 4 years, it's now been extended out here, and we're going to see 2025, 2026 be the possible peak into the bull market. That's what he's saying anyway. He's got a really nice British accent, much nicer than me. He sounds so much more proper than me to listen to. I wish you could have heard him. Unfortunately, no sound. That's gonna suck. That's gonna make life really crap for later, because I got a clip of Vladimir Putin speaking Russian that, you were going to get to listen to that beautiful accent as well. Not happening anymore. So let's move on to maybe some stuff I can talk. It's going to make life hard too, because now I've got to talk more. Nobody wants to listen to me talk too much. You wanted to watch some clips. All right. So here we've got this was David Schwartz announcing his retirement. It's long. I won't go through all that. It's pretty boring. But basically said, that he's going to move on. And where is it? I'm still in and out of the Ripple office as CTO emeritus, and as my last task at Ripple, Chris asked me to join Ripple's board of the board of directors to continue supporting the company's mission and long-term vision, and he accepts. So as I saw King Duck, was it King Duck, I think, commented before, saying anything that David Schwartz is involved in next is probably worth buying. And I would say that too. Keep a close eye on him and what he's doing. He's the guy that most likely, if I had to place my bet on the planet of who is Satoshi Nakamoto, or one of the 4 Satoshis, it's probably that guy. He worked for the NSA back in the day. He's done everything you need to do to be the guy. He's like a proper cryptographer, not just a coder and a computer nerd. He's done everything you could possibly need to do to be Satoshi Nakamoto. But I don't know if we'll ever find it out. It's kind of interesting. If you guys follow any of you guys follow the XRP riddles and things like that? I haven't quite got to that yet because Vince isn't quite up to that one yet. But if anyone follows the XRP riddles on X, let me know, and we can cover some of that stuff, because that's kind of cool and fun. There's some riddlers out there that have been posting for many years now about, and it's there's like Bearable Guy and things like that, where they post They post lots of different like pictures and like graphic drawings and stuff that are all just riddles, and it's so cool and so fun to follow and see where it gets you. And it seems to be that they seem to be right, because when people are getting it all going together, getting it going and figuring out what's going on, it's incredibly accurate. It's really funny to see. Anyway, so okay, we can still do Putin because at least there's subtitles, so you're not going to hear it, which doesn't really matter. You just don't get the beautiful Russian accent. Is that big of a deal? I suppose we'll just do subtitles, and maybe I'll even read them, so we can anybody listening at home can hear it as well. Adam Stokes, yeah, Peg's place. Adam Stokes, he's a really cool Australian guy. He's been doing it for a long time. He knows what he's doing. I follow him too. He's well worth listening to. Shout out to Adam Stokes out there. All right, so this is Putin. This is once again, if anyone's arguing with you, still going, why are you buying cryptocurrency? It's not going to do anything. It's just a scam. Just don't listen to them. Vladimir Putin, I'm pretty sure, listens to crypto. Has cryptocurrency, and I think he thinks it's going to do something good. This is his clip. If you guys somehow get sound, let me know, but I don't think you're gonna. Who can ban Bitcoin? Nobody. And who can prohibit the use of other electronic means of payment? Nobody. Because there are new technologies, no matter what happens to the dollar, these tools are developed one by another, because everyone will strive to reduce costs and increase reliability. Which, what does that really well? Three magic letters again. No, it's not really Bitcoin, but that that's huge. That one. I think, who's that guy that he's a bazillionaire and he swears a lot, and he said that Putin was behind Bitcoin. I wonder if he still says that now. It'd be interesting to see. Um, he has crypto. Oh, he has backed crypto by gold as well. Can you give me any more details on that one, Crunchy? That's that'll be interesting to hear that one. Danville, is it, yeah, Dan Bilzerian? No, he isn't he that he's that cigarette guy that has like the 15 chicks hanging off him, isn't he? Dan Bilzerian? It's the other dude, the real crotchety dude. And he's like, he swears and carry on. He runs a course and tells people, he teaches them how to be how to, how to be assholes as well, and swears at them and calls them C words and everything. It's so funny to watch. And they just sit there going, yeah, yeah, more. Anyway, so yeah, that's, if anyone's telling you that Bitcoin's not going anywhere, the cryptocurrency, sorry, Bitcoin, but cryptocurrency itself, it's hanging around. What else did I get to here? We had, oh, this was amazing once again. So for years and years and years, we've had we've had companies like Vanguard, Morgan Stanley, JP Morgan, BlackRock, Citi, Schwab, Visa, all say, no, we got no interest in cryptocurrency whatsoever. We're not going to be, we're not looking into it, da 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 da, all these things. And then all of a sudden, meanwhile, in the background, they're sitting there just buying up all the cryptocurrency they can possibly get their hands on. And probably, if they could, involving themselves in some kind of market manipulation to drive the price down so they can buy a hell of a lot more as cheap as they can. While they say, no, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. And then in the other back room, they're buying as much as they can. So this was from Chad Steingraber. He's awesome. Oh, you guys might be able to hear it at this point. Let's playing this. Basically saying that He's posted these guys. This was the Vanguard CEO. I'll just have to tell you about it. Vanguard CEO says they will not offer spot Bitcoin ETFs because it does not belong in a long-term portfolio and it's not a store of value. March 16, 2024. Scroll down here. GSR Research, TradFi is making the boldest push yet. GSR Research, TradFi is making the boldest push yet into digital assets. From ETS to custody to credit card rewards, Wall Street's biggest players are storming into crypto. Vanguard, Morgan Stanley, JP Morgan, BlackRock, Citi, Schwab, Visa. Don't ever, like Chad said up here, never listen to never going to happen, people. They would have been buying so much of this stuff in the background for the last couple of years, and they've finally got to a point where Bitcoin's at 120,000 US. XRP's at a price that's really hard to accumulate a lot of it without spending a hell of a lot of money. We've finally got to a point where these things are pretty much out of reach for the everyday guy to accumulate a lot of this stuff. There's a guy out there that says that I watch that says Bitcoin is now for the rich. You're not rich, you can't buy Bitcoin. Basically, you can't buy enough of it to make a difference. And that's what these guys have been doing in the background all this time. They've just been buying and buying and buying and telling the everyday guy that it's not worth it. And now we're going to see the system. We've seen Swift make the announcement. We've seen Trump make all his new laws this year, where they've said, okay, we're going to do the Genius Act. We've legalized, we've got framework for stable coins, which is now basically will extend into cryptocurrency itself. We've got all these things in place now for the system to really go change over and for them to flip the switch, as they say in the XRP land. I mean, I hope we see a flip of the switch and we see a really nice price rise, but it'll be interesting to see how that works. But yeah, if you guys are still sitting on the sidelines, don't sit on the sidelines. This will pass you by. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. The monetary system does not change every day, as you know. It is going to change. There's when I first studying this kind of stuff, one of the really interesting things that I learned was that monetary systems do change well, they're supposed to change kind of every like 70 odd years. That's the general life cycle of a monetary system, where they can put it in place in the population, and then it goes through its cycle and dies off, and then something else comes in and replaces it. This current system has been going for over 100 years. I think it's nearly 120 years or something. So it's been running on just smoke and vapor and fumes for so long. They've just been kicking the can down the road time and time again, band-aid after band-aid, and we're at the point where they can't keep doing that. And because of the technology that we now have, in the 60s, 70s, 80s, they didn't have this kind of technology where they can bring in a currency, a digital currency and a digital ID and all that kind of stuff, and hold you down with it. And it's going to be up to us to make sure that we're getting into the right things, we're looking in the right places and understanding what it is they're trying to shove down our throat. So we can say, no, I'm not going to go in that direction. I'm going to go in this direction. I'm going to go decentralized. I'm going to go, everybody's using it. Everybody's proven what it is. Bitcoin, technically, yeah, it's decentralized, and it's still, as long as it seems they're going to let it live. So I think it's pretty safe when it comes to, are they going to just crash it? I don't know, but I don't think they're going to take it off you. They might crash it, but I don't think they're going to come and take it off you. I don't think they're going to make a law that says, all you Bitcoin holders out there, yeah, thank you. We're confiscating your gold, your silver, and your Bitcoin. I don't think that's ever going to happen. Like Cass said before on Carl's channel, it's like good luck trying to do that kind of stuff, but they couldn't even enforce it if they tried. So when we get to I suppose the main thing of all that is understand what you're doing. Don't be shy. Don't be shy with this stuff. Hold for the long term, and hold for your generation. Like unless you're really old and you got no relatives and things like that, and you don't care, you don't like your family, spend it when it goes big. Spend it. But other than that, don't just understand that this is here to stay. That this is a technology that's coming in, whether we like it or not, just like AI. And without us really understanding what it is and what it can do, they can start to really use it to manipulate us and put us into a bad place. And they can say, no, we're just going to create a CBDC and you're going to use it. Where if we all band together and we say, no, we're not using that CBDC, just like a lot of us said, we might not take the jab kind of thing back in the day, then we get somewhere. Yeah, I think this kind of stuff, excuse me if I'm rambling on and boring some people, but this kind of stuff really, I think it's really interesting for me. And being in the market for the last 10 years, I've been through all the ups and downs, and I've had to really adopt a really strong attitude towards the market and understanding what I'm in, and having that conviction to stand there and just be like, I don't care that I don't care that everything dropped down and I feel like I've lost all my money, even though you haven't. You ride the wave kind of thing, and you come out on top in the end. And that's I'm definitely here to tell you guys that I've made a pretty good head start on things, and I think I'm going to do really well in the future. And I'm not the only one that can do that. You guys can definitely get there. Just keep chipping away, and you'll get there. Let's go into some comments because I've been rambling forever. Have we got any questions? For some reason, it's not letting me scroll very easily. All right. We go too far back up. Yeah, people can still make life-changing money in 10 years is from Kinder. People can in 10 years, but only spending hundreds now on the right coins. Yeah. That's if you get that's 100%. If you like your XDC, XLM, H bar guys, that's probably one of my big hot tips for you. H bar, wherever you can find to buy it. Hedera Hashgraph, H bar. From what I've heard from, and they're pretty legitimate sources, and I've read some documents on them that they're doing some kind of trials with the Australian government, which is pretty cool. At least it's homegrown. What else have we got in here? Yeah, I call crypto my retirement fund. That's exactly right. The way I've looked at it over the last few, especially having now got a son, I'm not just thinking, fast cars and yachts. Not that I was ever going to buy a yacht. I'm not probably a yacht person. Maybe a nice house or something. But I'm not thinking that much anymore. I'm thinking, let's have a nice life if we could. And I definitely want to leave something behind for my young fella because, like Jake Claver says, that this is like generational stuff that we're getting into here. This is the start of the new system. And if you look at it, I'm 40. I definitely haven't got 75 years to go. If I looked at it to say that a 75-year cycle, I'm not sure let's say XRP became the next dominant use of money in the world, the new world world reserve asset. They say that there's enough XRP to last for like 1,000 years. So I don't know how that works when it comes to the next monetary cycle, whether it just they're not going to have another system because this works so well. That'll be interesting. But if we do get to that point where they're using XRP or an XLM, that kind of a coin, for here and into the future, well, it's definitely going to go past my life cycle. And if you could if Bitcoin's 120,000 US now, imagine what it's going to be in 100 years. Imagine what XRP is going to be in 100 years at $3 now. Like, if my kid's 75 and his kids or whatever, imagine how cool it would be that they're like, oh, Grandpa Mark set the family up forever. Grandpa whoever set us up, and we didn't even know that bloke, and he got so rich just from buying, like King Duck says, a couple $100 worth of stuff in 2025. Made the right decision. Next thing you know, your family's set forever. That's really, really a possibility when it comes to the changeover of monetary system. It's a once in a lifetime opportunity that we have here. And I think one of the biggest things you can do for yourself is build the conviction and understand what it is, what this opportunity is that you have, and just go at it. That's what I kind of did as much. I wish I went even harder, and I went kind of as hard as I could. I was out there mowing all the lawns and working as much as I could. Once I had to, I got terminated from my old job because I wouldn't get vaccinated, and started a mowing business just to survive, and just started mowing and mowing and just started buying as much XRP as I could as well. But I wish I did it even more. I wish I was like skipping the coffees and, I'm not sorry, skipping the Powerade, I should say, or the chocolate bar here and there, and just buying that extra more, that little bit more. And people would say you got to live and all that, but I think it's going to be so worth it in the end. What else we got? Media. What ones are looking like to be liked by Ripple? Like Ripple? I don't know. That's a really interesting question. I have no idea what Ripple's involved. They've got 1,700 NDAs, non-disclosure agreements, signed, which they haven't even been like. If you could. They haven't been able to announce anything from 1,700 deals that they've made. So if you can imagine how big those deals would be that they've had to sign non-disclosure agreements. They've made some huge announcements in the last 5 years, major partnerships. Can you imagine how big these partnerships have to be that they're not allowed to announce if they've got 1,700 NDAs? It's a great question, Crunchy. Unfortunately, I can't answer it other than look into who they've partnered with already, some major people, and then just maybe cast your mind to imagine who else could they possibly have partnered with if they're not allowed to tell us. But I'm going to say probably banks and big retirement institutions and things like that. What else have we got? Donna. Let's see what Donna said. Donna said she had $1,000 worth of XRP at March 2023. Then her mum passed. I'm sorry to hear that, Donna. And I had to take it out. Not that much, but I'd like to have it now. Yeah, that sucks, Donna. Unfortunately, that's life. I really hope that you've had some really good fortune and been able to maybe recoup some of that. That would be kind of cool. That's like Carl was saying, how he had to sell all his silver, and now it's like pumped up to $71. It just sucks. Life's really sucky sometimes. Hopefully you can get to where you need to go and dig in a little bit more. I'm so sorry that your mum passed on. I hope that you had a great service for her, and hope you're doing okay. What else have we got in here, guys? What else have we got in here? Thanks for hanging with me this long, guys. If you guys have made it this far, you guys are awesome, because I've talked some absolute crap tonight. I haven't been able to play proper videos because we haven't got sound. We've only got a few minutes left. I can happily go a couple minutes over tonight if you guys want to hang around, because My other half took my young fella to the shops because she's like, he's just going to annoy you all night. So let's take him to the shops. Oh, this was a really cool thing that happened the other week. So we've got a little bit of news because we've had a few weeks off. So I've probably got some old stuff in here that I can tell you too. So the first spot XRP ETF was released the other week. September 19 was Zach Rector's post. So around that date, it set records after record straight away. So one of the big things that haven't come out to drive price is people are worried about why hasn't it done anything yet, or done anything super duper, though it did do 500% not long ago, 6 months ago, is because of the ETFs haven't come out. They haven't approved the ETFs. And this is more market manipulation that people talk about, where basically they're going to approve Solana, all these other ones. I think they were even talking about approving a Doge ETF before an XRP ETF, which is just ridiculous. XRP has been, it's technically, it's like Bitcoin and XRP are almost as old as each other kind of thing, because they made XRP, it used to be called OpenCoin. It's got a whole history that we won't do now, but it's been around so long that there's no reason. It's done all these transactions. There's no reason why they wouldn't approve it. They're just manipulating the market. They don't want the flow of money that's going to come into it from mum and pop and grandma and grandpa, who can now buy safely through a registered dealer, basically, and know that it's all held safely and whatnot, and they don't have to do anything. They can just ring up and say, put my money in XRP. Once that happens for BlackRock and all these other guys, which I'm pretty sure there was kind of they've made an announcement, or sorry, the BlackRock's going to be at Ripple Swell. Let's see if I can find that one for you. Ripple Swell is a I probably can't find it. Ripple Swell is Ripple's basically crypto conference, and BlackRock have announced that they were sending some guys to speak there. Spending a guy, head of their crypto council kind of guys, to speak at Ripple Swell. Sorry, I can't find. Maybe I should type in BlackRock and I'll get an actual post for you. All right, yeah, well, you might be able to hear it. That guy's talking about it, basically saying that just dropped BlackRock's edition. BlackRock's Bitcoin pump is a Ripple cover up. They tried to hide this from you, and it's kind of saying that that BlackRock's now looking at XRP and not just Bitcoin. I can't find the Ripple Swell post, unfortunately, but yeah, so they're sending a guy to Ripple Swell to start talking about XRP and having a look at XRP. So next thing in line after that would be an ETF, we assume. And hold your hats when that happens, guys. That Bitcoin was the most popular ETF ever. XRP will most likely, I'd assume, it will probably go close to breaking its record. Vince would be laughing at me in the background at that one, but hey, we're getting to that point. We really are getting to that point. King Doug, it'll be the greatest wealth transfer in history. That is correct. Though, technically, see, I followed Q since the start, from like the first month of their post back in the day. So I did the whole Q thing, and that's why I'm invested in XRP, because if you got far enough down the line in Q, it got to the point where there was a real world guy called Austin Steinbart who came out and said, we are the guys behind Q. I am one of the guys behind Q. And basically a psyop, but a positive psyop. And he came out and said it was run by I've got too many. The Department of anyway, I won't go down it. It ended up being D6, which is not the right people that you wanted to be, which is they're bad guys technically. So this guy then turned good, and I know I sound crazy now. And they got to the point where they then said you've got to buy Bitcoin and XRP. And when they told us that information, XRP was 20 cents and Bitcoin was like, I don't know, what was it, 20,000 or something like that. So if you look at the price differences now, I did buy it, bought as much as I could from then, and made a lot of money since then from it. And I was in at 20 cents. That was when I bought most of my XRP. So the whole Q thing is definitely worth looking into, guys. But yeah, that's how you can get. That's how we got to the cryptocurrency. I'm sorry, I got off track there with what I was talking about. We'll go. I'm running a little bit over time, but that's okay. If you guys want to hang around, we'll go a couple more minutes. And I want to find. We did carry packer the other week. I don't think I've got it in here saved. XRP's past shell in market cap. That was another very interesting one. All right, we're back to the Genius Act. All right, any more questions before we go, guys? Any more questions that you want me to ask or an answer about crypto? I've got some some long-winded answers for you, and around 10 years experience in the market now, so I can I've seen a lot of crap, but when it comes to new coins, it's basically HBAR, XDC. Oh, can be bought on CoinSpot. Thanks, Kim Dark. And SwiftX. I use CoinJar all the time because they give me a credit card and whatnot. I guess CoinSpot can probably do that now. I have a CoinSpot account. I just didn't use it back in the day because it was too clunky. It was much easier for me to get my money into CoinJar. Any questions, guys? No questions coming, so I might say thank you very much for joining me, guys. We might end it there for tonight. Thank you so much for lasting that long. I might try and just run a quick banner and just run what have we got here? I'll just run that one for you guys so you can. So Vince doesn't yell at me and say, you didn't run any of the banners for the merch lottery. You got to run $2 lotteries. You got to support the boys. You got to support Carl on the main channel. You got to support Vince on this channel because they make not enough money to keep doing what they're doing, but they just keep doing it, and it's great. Thanks, Donna, for saying great show. Oh, I can't wait to hear what Vince says about that. It's going to be interesting. Donna had XRP at 5 cents years back and then got hacked. Shut up. How did you get hacked? Most of it around 60 to 80 cents. Cheapest you got 45 cents. I saw a comment back up here. I want to say there was a 50,000 XRP comment. All right, this will be interesting. Sorry to just drag it out a little bit more. Oh, it's okay. You must have been in there talking about just saying maybe being able to invest with XRP, and it says apologies was for USA and only for people who had $50,000 worth of XRP. Okay. X50,000 explode. Not many people would have that much. No, not many people. I don't think have 50,000. You are the numbers for XRP. If you hold 50,000 XRP, you are in the top 1% of all the wallets in the world. That was one of the the things I used to look at a lot. I still do. 100,000 is 0.5%. You only have to hold. I might even be able to look it up really quickly. You only have to hold like a couple of thousand, and you're in like the top 10% because no one holds it. Like not enough of the world hold it anyway. Yeah, here we go. I found it. This is very worth looking at, guys. So this is your percentage of people and the amount of accounts that hold it, and the balance that requires to get into that percentage, obviously. So if you're holding 50,000 XRP, which I mean, I hope some of you guys are. There's more people out there than you think that are going to be holding 50,000 XRP. Because back in the day, that wasn't that hard of a target to get to if you set your sights on it, and you had money to play with a little bit. You can get there, though. I know some people that are like that think they didn't hold much XRP at all, and they were holding 8,000. They were holding 10,000. They were holding 5,000. And they were like, "Oh, I've got nothing." And I pulled this chart up and I showed them, and I was like, "There's only 300. You're holding 8 to 10,000 XRP. Let's say 8,000. There's only 345,000 wallets in the world that hold 8,000 XRP, which puts you in the top 5%. So when you look at like half of Africa doesn't have the internet and things like that, or they use phones to do most of it, so they're not banked. You look at the population of the world, we're really, really privileged to be able to buy this stuff and to be able to get in now and hold as much as we possibly can. Because compared to 8 billion people in the world, if you're one of the top 345,000 people of 8 billion, and XRP goes to, I don't know, what, $100? Well, you're gonna be doing pretty good. If it goes to $10, you're gonna be doing pretty good. I'm with Jake Claver. I'm expecting thousands. I think I showed you guys some price predictions before, which went a little bit wild, but like the mean price predictions is $60,000 on some of these predictions, way into the future when things happen, and it's all backed up with mathematics, and it all works out. But yeah, so these numbers, guys, like there's only 69,000 wallets in the world that own 50,000 XRP. From 50,000 to 96,000 kind of thing. I think that's how it works. So you've got the wallets possibly above that, or I'm not sure. But you're in the top 1% if you hold 50,000 XRP, guys. Don't lose sight of where you are. Don't lose sight of the opportunity you've been given. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity, and it was the reason I got into it so much is because I surfed my life away. I didn't go and work as hard as I should have when I was younger, and got to the point when I was like, I kind of wasted a lot of my time, and I'm not going to be able to retire. So you got to start doing something smart. And this was one of the only things that when I was like, this is kind of one of the only tickets I've got out. And it's the only opportunity I think I'm going to get. So I'm going to take it. And went from there. All right. I'll stop boring you guys. I'll check for any more comments from you guys. Oh, sorry, I can't get to the comment section. Where are we? No. For some reason. We got there finally. All right. Thank you, guys. Thanks for joining me. I think Vince is back next week. Thanks for making it this far. It's goodbye from me. It's goodbye from Vince. And we'll see you next week. Have a good night. Cheers.